I'm just gonna let it ride out. Like, Borderlands is still fun without it, and feels like a perfect game. Yeah, I mean, vanilla Borderlands, definitely. 1 through 50. I'm not, like I said, I'm not against iterative software, but I am against the idea that it requires that they, like, look at Madden, or the state of sports games. The idea that they weren't already making tons of money off a $60 game, so they want to withhold content and charge you 15 times over for what you used to get for 60 bucks. Some things have to change, you know, everything's a little more expensive, I suppose, and complex, perhaps. So there's no real numbers to back that idea up. But do you really want to keep going down that process? You know, that it's always got to be online, that you have to buy loot boxes to try to make some kind of progress, like the Madden games now. You gotta buy a card pack, and the card pack you might get the Golden Tom Brady, and then the Golden Tom Brady's moved, it's used up in 5 uses, and then you gotta buy 10 more packs, but you paid 60 bucks for this game that gets launched every year. It's really not fair to anybody. To anybody. Of course, they've been getting away with it because the people who buy FIFA are not the people who buy Borderlands. PC's still dead, and I will have everyone calling her Amari. Before I die, Amari is her magic wielding name. PC's still dead. What's going on with your PC? Rest in peace, duping. How would duping be gone, Adam? You can still play offline. You mean if it was a live service game? Good bro, and you? I am better than good, and I'm better than most. A lot of these developers would simply go out of business. Shit, what would make him go out of business, Von Hilger? Gotta be paying more attention. I started losing some focus on the story, and I wanted to pay attention to this one. He said it was an unintended bug. Bug my ass. It's just how the mechanics of the game work. The only way they're gonna do that, Adam, and it's I think it'll cause problems, is every single time you put an item on the ground, it saves. They'd have to server-side your inventory, and every single time you put something put something out of your inventory, it'll have to save. So imagine if I do this. Okay, well now I have like, you know, 25 different instances of saving going on at the same time. You don't think that's going to cause some issues? I just don't see how they would solve it outside of that. It's just the fact that your inventory was saved, and then you fucking threw shit on the ground and left without saving. It's definitely an exploit, sure, but it saves us a hell of a lot of time. The graphics driver has to be updated in order, but the updates are impossible to find, apparently. The graphic has to be updated in order, but the updates are impossible to find, apparently. Have you done, have you gone to Device Manager in your window? Can you even get on it since it's your graphics card? Or does your motherboard have a integrated graphics card so you can still get into like your BIOS and stuff? If you go to like Device Manager, we're gonna do tech support. And then, you know, go into your, you can update all these drivers. Like, Windows will automatically do it for you. Go into your system buses, you know, go into your, well, that's my CPU, but you get the idea. I think there's even a PCIe slot driver. You know, I could like, I've done this before, in fact, and it actually fixed some things. I can search automatically for the device update. I've fixed some stuff via this process before. Just throwing suggestions out there for you. Got docs, we have your zip code now? Yes. From that one Windows program. Amara, not Amari. Oh, who gives a shit? I mean, honestly, Jeremiah. Fucking Miko's not a she, Miko's a they! She's just another video game fictional character. Just assume her name stuck right. This grammar police stuff is... If I get that way, you can be that way to me. How dare you? Yeah, but it's in a shop. They're having problems with it. I'm getting free labor. I'm not worried about it. Thanks, man. Okay, you're welcome, Ashton. As long as it's in a shop, they should get it back to you all right. Unlikely roommates. What the fuck is Marcus doing in here? Marcus is cross-eyed now. Unlikely roommates. A claustrophobic bunker. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, Marcus and Tannis are in here. Oh, never mind. Earl's in there. What you want? Oh my god, they animated the head that is Crazy Earl.
What you want? 'Cause I ain't got nothing. Quit rubbing it in. Psst.
Vault Hunter. I finagled a spot in Earl's bunker because I'm not messing around with crazy pants gas that turns people into plant monsters. But he doesn't have any food. You
can so tell that they just shoved him back there. Like, it doesn't look realistic at all. And Earl is totally just a fucking head. I don't think they've ever animated him, given him a body. I mean, there's no need to be fair, but you can tell it's a fucking floating head. They're butt buddies. Hey, desperate times calls for desperate measures, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, have you beat this DLC? Guessing you have. You should totally beat this before Borderlands 3's out, though. Ashton, stream it. Hell with it. Just to experience it. The story seems pretty damn good so far. I'm enjoying it. Let's see where it goes. You did? Sweet. What'd you think of it? Did you hear back from GameStop?
Hitting harder while fighting within a gas pocket. Strange, but potentially helpful.
Ooh, this is a cool area. I like all the details.
Do keep a close eye on your exposure level. Unless starting vines and losing your mind is a newfound kink.
Interesting.
In which case, I have some echo novels for your perusal. Judgment-free zone.
New mechanics and a game 7 years old. That's alright. Thought it was good.
I see the gas has infected the local fauna as well. Vault Hunter, try obtaining samples from those infected.
I mean, these things are gonna burn like bloody hellfire. You would think for once this thing would be good, but it's still trash. This thing, I've loved. Poor man's Norfleet. Been one of those rare beauties that defines Borderlands. Finding a good gun out of all the junk and being like, oh, look what this can do. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Especially rare in Borderlands 2. You know what? I think that this is a DLC that's asking me to use the bee. I'm not really struggling survival-wise. This stuff's kind of meaty, though. Boom does! Ooh, what's that? Oh, they brought back the Hammerlock spores. Makes sense, they only used them once. It's not like Gearbox to ever use one asset, to use any asset less than once. Or, yeah, less than once. There's like a break in it, like right in here somewhere. Well, there was a break in it. What happened? You just instantly die. I guess we're gonna find out, aren't we? Wait, yeah, right here. That's weird. How would we ever make new assets? They say for Borderlands 3 they had to make new assets, but apparently this was also Gearbox Quebec. You know, Randy's pet project, which is supposedly working on Brothers in Arms, so it's interesting that they had him do this DLC.
Someone engineered it.
So much good news coming out of Gears 5 right now, it's pretty exciting. I'll keep randomly talking about that game with Wonderlust, wondering if we'll be able to get to it or not. Hey, Skag, spawn. I'm gonna do my optional objective here. Ew. What the fuck was he doing in there?
at an exponential rate.
Borderlands 3 is just Borderlands 2, but an expansion that's worse. Well, that's not good, because Borderlands 2 is not even my favorite Borderlands, to be real with you. Second favorite game ever, but there's a lot of stuff going back and revisiting these games that I've appreciated so much more in Borderlands 1. There's still so much good here, though. This is still a fantastic game. I'm just ready for new. I was ready for new 5 years ago. I'm glad we've come back and re-experienced this, but... What am I missing? There's gotta be one more. This is new, though, so this is nice. It's cool to experience something, a new story, especially.
Creating this gas would require an understanding of advanced biogenetics I can only describe as brilliant.
AKA Destiny 2, right, that's true. That's true.
Now we must discern how
I
the
agree
gas
with you
is
there.
infecting humans. I will require samples, specifically brain matter, which I like to call that good gray stuff.
The good gray stuff.
Yes! Yes! Just as I suspected. I gained absolutely no information from those infected skags. The scientific method prevails again.
Good stuff. See, these jokes are at least hitting, and there's a semi-serious thing going on that keeps you grounded in the gameplay, rather than Torg that's just fucking over-the-top slapstick the whole time. I like Torg, okay? I know Ashton doesn't, but I do like Torg. But it just didn't make me feel connected to that story at all. And those jokes started falling so flat last night as we went through that. Like, when he was using the Torg weapons and we did the ad, like, the first couple were okay. The first one was fine, the second one was and then by the third joke, he's like, "You're fucking hot. You're a big, handsome, attractive man using your big gun. Oh, yeah." Oh, just fucking shut up.
I will, as I say.
You got away with, like, the really obvious, transparent, meme joke once.
Few more samples, Vault Hunter.
We gritted our teeth on the second one. By the third one, it was time to shut the fuck up. Because it starts to come off as lazy, where it's like, oh, it's funny because it is lazy. It's like the most obvious, transparent thing you would say. He's being sarcastic and they're breaking the fourth wall, kinda. By the third time you do that, it just starts saying, like, couldn't you have come up with something else? Like, you've done this thing. You've played that card. Yes, the sarcastic breaking the fourth wall thing. Yes, ha 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 ha. Fitman, little DLC hype. Yes, it's been pretty good so far. What did you think of this DLC, Fitman? We were live a little longer than that. I actually had to reset my OBS. Yeah. Who's on hours right now? The Vulcan Freak Show's getting up there again. Vulcan's been at a standstill. Vulcan must not be lurking here lately. And Adam's gonna fucking catch Tyrell the way it's looking. You're up over 100. Shit, we might see you there someday, Fitman. I think Jeremiah hit 600. A lot of you guys are starting to get some crazy good hours up in the chat. Cool DLC so far, though. I'm liking it. It's definitely like a lot of asset flips, but that's gonna happen for a 7-year-old game. They say they were sitting on this DLC for a while, but it's a good mix. I really like the new environments. Like there's a new mechanic. They've used Hammerlock DLC assets and the Hollowed Grove assets. But Gearbox is pretty good about reusing their assets in a super resourceful way that doesn't come across as cheap or cringy. 99% of the time, not every time. I'm looking at you, Pumpkin, that has been in every game since Borderlands 1. Ooh, are they super powered in here? I really like Legionnaire. That's a good wordplay. Alright, infected brains. I wonder if they're using the same brain asset from the Dr. Ned's.
Already present in our lungs.
I like the DLC overall. So it is, if you care about this sort of thing. I do care, because we have to get all rainbow. I'm kind of pissed, too, because our VIP program didn't work again. I went ahead and bought 2 rainbows to help us forward today, and they did not show up, so.
Nearly mindless, like a slag hub addict.
Meaning we'll have to farm tonight. But once I get this DLC done, we're actually done with the stream. It'll still probably be late. I'm sure it'll be long.
I lack the expertise necessary to synthesize the gas and create our own.
I gotta get up earlier tomorrow and go run some errands.
Again, not doing that. You sound just like that university ethics board. No matter. Return to the back burner and send me those samples. I'm running out of iridium, so I'm gonna make one last sweep for survivors. See you back at camp.
She needs fucking iridium. Did she just get hooked on iridium? Could she not function without it? She just used it, right? And started getting, like, doped out and fell in love, right? She was still good. That's why I don't understand the earlier scene when the new Pandoran recon guys are there and they're like, oh god, whatever will we do? Well, Mordecai has the ability to penetrate shields, and Lilith is the most powerful Vault Hunter of Borderlands 1 by far, so, you know, just universally she's good, outside of one very specific thing with Brick, so why doesn't she just grab her damn gun and go phase walk and kill their asses? I'm assuming she just straight up doesn't have powers anymore unless she's doing the drugs. That's a fumble from them I don't like hearing. Can't plan VIP hype if it doesn't work. Yeah, it did work to begin with. I think the system might be overloaded, and I'm sure if I put a support ticket in, they would get me, but considering this is our last planned day of Borderlands 2, this is our last day of Borderlands 2, it doesn't matter, and so I'm not gonna bother. I'm glad they did an in-between DLC, though. It's cool that Vaughn's in here. We'll get to know Vaughn more tomorrow, because the plan is tomorrow, once I get done with running errands, I'm going to go live and try to knock out Tails. Then we'll see how this weekend plays out. Most likely tomorrow, Saturday we don't stream, and Sunday I start pre-sequel, but there's a chance, there's like a 30% chance that I'm going to decide to stream Saturday and Sunday and try to do Gears of War campaign over a weekend, just so we experience it. Yeah, I'm a Gears fan. I've played all the Gears up to this point, so especially I'm happy to be hearing so many good things. I thought Gears 4 was great. I told you guys how I'm going to continue to reminisce and have wanderlust over playing Gears 5, because I don't know if we're going to get to for a while. But Gears 4 was really, really good. And the Coalition has remade every game in Gears 4. So, of course, Gears 5 should be excellent. And it's still, to me, the best third-person action game, third-person shooter action game. Plays so much better than any of them. Especially The Division. Like, The Division might be a cover-based shooter, but it doesn't have anything on Gears. Gears is 100 times smoother, more responsive, easier to control. That's why it's a competitive game. In Division, you're going to get stuck on a wall and kind of like flip around and stand and shrug and like... It's very stiff, you know? There's no fluidity. It's, I'm either in cover or I'm above cover. It's either I'm grappling and I'm standing or I'm going down. Where in Gears, it's always one fluid motion. Like you're actually in an FPS. Didn't the twins somehow make her a siren? Make Lilith a siren? She's always been a siren. So, I don't know, she might be turning out, or possibly she's losing her siren abilities. Yeah, she definitely lost her siren abilities. Yeah, you're right about that, Fitman. You're right about that. It's just... The question is how? It could just be her time. Because there's all kinds of mystery, right? There's 6 sirens in the universe. We learned that sirens aren't always born. They're sometimes made, like Angel. But we know that Lilith was born a siren. And then if you read her comic book, the Lilith comic book that Mikey Newman wrote, who wrote Borderlands 1, it's called Origins. It's short. It's easy to check out. She was visited by, like, a mother, a siren mother, who guided Lilith and then died. Like, lost her siren powers. And so Maya looks exactly like that siren mother and is guiding Eva, who's from the pre-sequel, who we'll get to meet next week. Eva is a character who's only described in echo logs. And the Seraphs choose to protect her and her mom and get them off of Elpis and get them to Pandora. And Eva is now Maya's apprentice, so... Meaning Eva is a siren. She's either being made into a siren or she was born a siren. That's why the Seraphs would come protect her. I'm sure it's going to get so much more elaborate. There's obviously a lot going on at this point. You know, the Seraphs say in the end of the pre-sequel, which again we'll get to see next week, that you need to prepare for war. War is going to come. We know that the Seraphs are back. And we know that the Seraphs wiped out their whole civilization putting the Destroyer in a vault. So it's got to be much more... You would assume it's more complex than what we were led to believe in Borderlands 1, because we killed the Destroyer of Worlds. He's supposed to be the most dangerous thing in the whole universe. Or it is supposed to be. And yet we killed it. It just can't be that simple. And apparently what it does is it's like a parasitic thing. It takes over people and uses them like, you know, vampire bat kind of thing. It uses doppelgangers to manipulate. I realized the other day that I have a shooter preference. I only play in third-person shooters. Not that I refuse, it's just that I don't enjoy third-person all that well. It's the reason I can never get into Gears of War, just cause. There are a few others as well. Mass Effect's the only third-person shooter I found myself truly enjoying. Did you truly enjoy it because of the story, or I think there was a particular reason? I mean, Gears has just gotten so good. I still believe it's the definitive third-person shooter game. It's just so easy. I mean, it's one button. That one button allows you to sprint, allows you to dodge, allows you to hit cover, and it works. It's all based upon how you press the button, whether you tap it, whether you hold it, whether you press it all the way in. And a system that simple that you would think would be hanging on by a thread is just exactly right. B to melee, right bumper to reload, then they've got that nice active reload system that keeps it fresh and puts a little bit of a skill behind it. There's just so much that works with that game. It's going to be hard not to play it tomorrow. It's going to be hard not to play it tomorrow. Alright, return to the back burner. Is there any quest in this area? Is the doll abandoned? Yeah, there is. Find food for Marcus, okay. What's the text say? Marcus has locked himself in a bunker with Crazy Earl because for some reason he thinks it's safe. Unfortunately, he's out of food. He's asked you to bring him some food in exchange for a reward, alright. And we have to make sure, while doing the mission Kleptocurrency, you'll come to the Veiny Shaft. You'll encounter some spider ants, and one of them is named Dark Web. That's one of the 2 missable achievements we gotta make sure we do. So, the quest is Kleptocurrency. I'm gonna bet it is the story, but Gears has a great story as well, so there must be something else. Gears' story's getting stronger. And, you know, a lot of especially the early Gears, there was a lot of ambivalence. There was a lot of things unexplained, and it was a lot like Destiny. It was more grounded than Destiny, to be fair, but it was similar. It was more about the big strokes rather than the story itself, like being in that world and moving forward. And it starts to develop around Gears 2 a little bit better when we go on the attack and we get to go under the ground and, you know, Ty kills himself and shit. Things get a little bit better. I thought 3 was not all that good of a story. Like, it's okay that it tied it together, but the idea that the Locust could be knocked out the whole time just by ending the mining of emulsion it was dumb, and it's because they hired this lady named Karen Scott who wrote all the tie-in novels to do it. My brother, he's a huge Gears guy. He's got the Marcus Phoenix statue, the whole thing. And he read all those novels, and he just really disliked them. And they ham-fisted this Bernie character into the arc, who is one of the outsiders. And she becomes basically stronger than Marcus and becomes like the lead character. And it's dumb. I loved 3, but I did not like that campaign. It had some great action pieces, but I didn't like the story. Had that great scene with the mech. But Gears 4 is super good. And it really starts to elaborate on what the Swarm are, how the Locusts have come back, what's their connection to humanity. And you've got this one character, Kate, she's a soldier in the COG, but she's also a bloodline relation to the Locust Swarm, the Queen. Her mom is the Queen. So it's a lot like Kerrigan. I said I wasn't going to spoil it, but now it's been spoiled. One of the main protagonists in Gears of War is basically Kerrigan. And it's going to be really interesting where it goes forward. And Gears has gotten so good. Gears 4 is like the closest thing you can get to playing a Pacific Rim game. There's a scene in there where you get to be in this massive mech titan thing and fight, you know, all the massive creatures of Gears of War. The big spiders, the Borak things with the big guns, and it's just freaking cool. Apparently they've stepped that up, so. As much as we should play Tales from the Borderlands tomorrow, we'll still do Tales. I'll just have to figure out whether or not Saturday I think we'll do Tales. It's gonna be so hard to resist not popping in some Gears and going at it. I especially want to check out the multiplayer. I have Gears 4, but the buddy I play with can't play. It crashes on his computer. It's worth it on single player. I played it single player. I went through and beat it on Legendary. That game has... I should have done a review for it, because there's a lot of things I can say about it. It has one of the best checkpoint systems I have ever played in any video game. Modern video game. Slightly better than Doom's. Doom's has the same flavor, but a lot of these modern games have gone through and taken a note from the old school. And rather than putting the checkpoint in a location, they put it more... You know, just like generally on the map, like Borderlands. Like, alright, I'm going to spawn all the way over here. they always put it right before a set piece. So Gears Legendary is really, really hard. It's hard. Or insane, it's in that. It's called in that, but... Oh, controller died. Basically what happens is before every like combat encounter, think like Mega Man. I'm trying to get the controller to charge. Got it. You'll hit a checkpoint. You won't even know it. And so you never lose more than 5 minutes, and it's always just exactly where it needs to be. Like, you don't have to run up into the fight. You don't have to build up to the fight. It's always right before you make a decision on what weapon you're going to use and how you're going to go about the encounter. And so even though it's so difficult, it's not frustrating because they never put you very far back. Every single time you beat an encounter, you know that you got a checkpoint. The only time they step it up is towards the end of the playthrough, just to make it a little harder. You know, you need to chain more events together. But it's just really well done.
What does that even mean?
It's really well done.
Have to mean nothing. This is my house.
You know, it's always so frustrating in any game, especially where it's going to be really tough or you're enjoying it and they put a checkpoint like an hour and a half back or 40 or the beginning of the level or like halfway through the level. A good checkpoint system can make and break a shooter. Doom has a really good checkpoint system. Gears of War 4 was the best checkpoint system I've experienced in a game yet. It's just how in tune they were with their level design. They knew exactly what would be the really tough fights and where you were likely to die 1,000 times in a row until you got it perfect, which is what it requires of you. But it's okay because you know that every time you mess up, you're right outside the level. It's like Super Meat Boy. You know, the levels are super small and contained and it's all about the precise timing in that moment. Well, Gears has big missions, long levels, but because of the checkpoint system, you feel like you're kind of in a Super Meat Boy situation where it's super tough, but you just rapid repetition. It's something that I would get frustrated in with Nuclear Winter on Fallout 76 because it has extremely long downtimes between missions, between matches. It's a fun BR. It's okay, you know, it's good, but you have to wait like 15 minutes between matches, and if you die right off get and go, that's super frustrating and you just don't want to fuck with it. I love Uncharted, but holy crap, gameplay third-person shooting is not that good at all. Uncharted's kind of like Red Dead, right, Adam? Where it's more about experiencing the story and interacting with it than it is about the gameplay itself. Because I know that's definitely Red Dead. Red Dead I just did not think played well. It played okay. I mean, it was serviceable, but it was totally about the story. %. And apparently it tells an amazing story. Is that true? I mean, it's won Game of the Year awards. It gets extremely hyped up. People love that game. I'm assuming has got a lot of merit. Would you say that's true, Adam? Gears of War 5 would also be find way more food for Marcus. I mean, I would say he's only got 2 cans of fucking food right now, but it's just gonna be hard not to play it. It's gonna really throw a monkey wrench in these elaborate plans I've made. But sometimes it's about just being happy. And who knows, we could still figure out a way with our very limited time at this point, because we're only, what, eight days away, Adam? 8 days away? In fact, Tonight at midnight, we'll officially be a freaking week out from launch. We'll be one freaking week away. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. What's the... What do they call that? The embargo? Review embargo? When's that break? When can reviewers start uploading their stuff for Borderlands 3? I'll be super curious, because, you know, all the reviews for Gears 5 are looking great. Looking great. The Verge called it spectacular. All these boxes. Eurogamer gave the Borderlands preview a bad early review. Too many boxes, it says. Oh, speaking of way more food, you only get one can out of that whole thing.
This is untenable. Untenable! Oh, look at the fancy man and his fancy words. What, you think you're better than me? I ain't thinking, I'm knowing. You're nothing but a capitalist pig dog. That's the nicest thing you've ever
You can tell
said to
Randy's
me.
putting his heart and his soul into this performance.
Well, maybe I'll just kill you and take your stupid bunker.
Ooh,
I
shit.
heard that. You tried now, you're friggin' hard for stuff.
It's a bit of an oxymoron that the guy from the former Soviet Union, like, every Russia is in his voice. Wood is the capitalist dog. What? Maybe that's the point. Fine last food for Marcus. Oh yeah, Mr. Pitchford put his heart and his soul into that performance, there's no doubt. Pizza addicted skag.
That should do for a while. Bring them to me.
If while.
Put the cheese grater. We don't even have any cheese. That's beside the point. What the hell is wrong with this guy?
What the hell is wrong with this guy? It's what the world asks. And anxiously awaits the answer to. Alright, assuming we can't go that way. Because the door won't open. Who'd have thunk it? Alright, here's your food.
At least I won't starve.
Yeah, you'll
But
last
now
about
I
a
need
day
to
on that.
protect
3 cans of food and a
myself from
pizza.
outsiders. And also, Earl, bring me a gun, something big like a rocket launcher, to strike fear into the hearts of my enemies. And also, Earl,
I ain't fair to nothing. Except cotton balls. Hate them things.
We are in the wildlife exploitation preserve, right? It feels like this is about the right size,
This little
too.
whip pants cry, baby. I want out of this setup. You hear? Do me a solidify and beat up on one of his machines.
Oh, Earl's gonna be pissed about
What the
that.
hell is going on out
Are
there?
we supposed to be able to see behind the texture? You think they would have retextured that? Oh shit, Marcus is outside the bunker.
ah, what's done is done, I guess. To be honest, I'm a bit relieved to be out of there. The whole place smelled like cat pee. But there were no cats. Besides, I can't stay mad at you. You're still my best customer.
And the world wonders just what Randy's doing behind this door. Well, that's probably for the best. Yeah.
Thanks. Knew you were probably good for something. Also, leave me alone. Now that I got me some privacy, I gotta... things to do.
It's unfortunate that he voices this crazy Earl. Cool. I'm assuming we got to do all the quests. No, we actually don't. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. Well, you know, it's story. Story leading up to 3, so I feel like it's worth it. I'm slow rolling it, taking my time, seeing what there is to see in this DLC. Heyo. See, I want that to be on a button, so I can just press it. It's important that we check these boxes for science. Because you never know. Alright, worth. Not even gonna check the second one after that. How could you scorn me like this, game? All abandoned.
What a horrifying creature.
Oh shit.
Weapon of choice.
Nice.
Like I always
Licking
say,
throat.
the more horrifying specimens, the merrier.
I mean, fire is just like the killer in this DLC.
Pointless, but well done.
Oh, there's infection here. He created infection right there.
Buy from me if you want to live.
I'm done with this thing. It's just not working. I won't use it. Honestly, I won't be using a lot of this shit. This is gonna be it. This I won't be using either. I'm just gonna keep that for the money shot. Whoops. We will want to keep the evolution though. Definitely. Because reasons. Who knows? Someday we might come back and play this again. When people argue that this was the best one. They should have just made another 2. Everyone's digging into 5 anyway.
Send me those samples as soon as possible. I've made every preparation and
Scan sample.
completely
Okay.
disrobed so that there is nothing between me and the laboratory-grade mylar of this biohazard suit. The sensation is
Mylar.
very satisfying.
You just focus on keeping Pandora safe, so I can focus on keeping it dangerous.
This is his new shop. He's got his cans of food back there.
Buy a gun already. Don't get killed.
Yeah, this is definitely the wildlife exploitation preserve. All right, Ellie. Oh, it looks a lot like the brains in Dr. Ned's. I don't know, maybe with some yellow stuff in there.
And I busted the science thing. Just give it a little bandit high five.
Scanning biosignature.
Wish you could read that stuff.
I love that sound.
Love that sound.
Hunter, over here.
Well armed.
I'm thinking about marching right back up there and shoving old Shoddy right up that Hector fella's root sack.
Lilith. It's important in any conflict to know thy enemy. In this case, thy enemy is an army of freaky mutant plant monsters. Bummer.
Tannis is working on an antidote.
Winging it.
Meantime, let's find a way back up to Sanctuary.
You've got to become the leader, Lilith. You've got to step up and embrace your
Got a
destiny.
nice perch up by Mount Scarab.
have found a way up to Sanctuary.
Mordecai, good to hear from you.
I wasn't gonna let you fight this one without me. Oh crap! Brace yourselves! Bunch of Hector salad soldiers are headed your way!
Salad soldiers.
Ellie, it's time for a fight. Those defenses ready?
Roxy made her way here.
Could use some help getting more turrets online. VH,
We're right here, Ellie. It's okay.
Grab it for me, will you?
Big bushwhack, alright.
I'm glad Scooter doesn't have to see this mess. Sanctuary was one of his intended targets.
Alright, so Scooter's dead at this point as well. Scooter is her kid?
Fix anything with a few thwacks. I set up a badass choke point just
I thought they were
camp.
cousins.
Get them turrets humming, Vault Hunter.
We need to look this up, because that's important. That would be important for sure. That'll certainly impact Moxie if she lost her kid. Let's look it up. Moxie BL. Background, yeah, it's her son. Holy crap. With Lucky Zafford, according to her son Scooter. Whether or not he was one of her husbands, she created the Underdome to keep herself occupied while she searched for a new husband. She was originally a member of the Hoduk clan. She grabbed her children and split from the Hoduks to prevent her daughter Ellie from becoming a clan wife. She's been at least three times. She married his son Scooter with Jimbo Hodunk. With Jimbo. Holy shit, she married fucking Jimbo? Dude, think of that. Moxie was with Jimbo. Now that's a...
This'll be a primo kill zone once you fix up them turrets. Give him a thwack with the bash range. One more turret should do it.
Aren't these already up? Didn't Vaughn do this?
Just in time. I see them viney sumbitches coming. Let's whack them weeds.
Defend the camp! Yeah, defend my camp!
Akimbo! Oh, they're infected, dude. Wonder how that impacts things. Too busy looting. Not enough shooting. How did that not get us up? The turrets got the kill, dude. That sucks. Oh, these guys, I think, are reskinned from the Hodug clan. Look at this. Maybe. There's certainly a mix of assets.
Hell yeah! You might look and smell like a Vault Hunter, but you totally fight like a bandit. And that is the highest compliment.
Tannis, any updates? Well, I cannot produce an antidote, but I have traced the gas to a scientist named Cassius Leclerman.
Cassius Leclerman.
Cassius? I know that science, dude. I'm gonna call him now. Yo, Cassius. Hey, it's Vaughn.
Vaughn, hello. I'm rather busy on a secret project.
Oh, good. Mad scientist. We needed this.
Quick question. Did you plant monster up my bros?
I would never
Plant monster up my bros.
Hector swore that... I see. I've been tricked into working for an evil megalomaniac. My bad.
Hey, happens to the best of us, bro.
Come to my secret laboratory. The entrance is through the old doll mine.
Laboratory.
I'll begin working on an antidote immediately.
I got eyes on the mine, Lilith. I'll let you know if I see anything.
Keep me posted, Mordecai. The Vault Hunter will meet you there.
Alright, Mordecai's there. Where's Brick? We haven't seen Brick yet. So there are plant monsters in the bandit technicals, or the bandit technicals just chilling? Oh, we had. Alright. Somehow they're not infected. Just there to keep us busy. I would say it's a mix, but it might just be kind of a reskin of the doll guys. Or the Hyperion soldiers. What the fuck? Talon. Oh, hey, we get Talon introduced. That's cool. I'll be damned. Looks like it's pretty big, dude. Yeah, this is totally the wildlife exploitation preserve. Because look, it's the same. This is the same mountain. They've really reshaped it though, so it's not a reskin. It can't be. They've reused it, but they've done so much to it. Talon.
Talon, Mordecai's new bird. I think he's trying to tell us something.
Timmy's in a well?
Talon? Mordecai got attacked by vine freaks. Vault Hunter, follow Talon.
Alright, well, go ahead, Talon. Talon's huge. Where did it go? What the hell? Oh. I just shit out a clue, I think.
Still haven't heard from Mordecai. Keep following Talon. We've lost too much already. We can't lose Mordecai. He's the best scout in the Raiders. We've been fighting together since the beginning.
Yeah, 10 years. It's pretty good. Is this foreshadowing that we're probably going to lose Mordecai in the next one?
Mordecai, Brick, Roland. We had each other's backs. We fought together. That's how we survived for so long. When Roland died, Mordecai got me through some dark times. Couldn't have taken down Jack without him. The Crimson Raiders wouldn't be the same without Mordecai.
Well, you're going to be disappointed because it looks like the Crimson Raiders are breaking up.
Talon, to me!
What's he doing in here? These guys hit pretty hard. If you do get hit, they hit you hard. I'm always okay with that so long as you can do the damage right back. Which we are. We just gunzer constantly anymore with this gun berserker mod. And this is good because we get to rip off the shields with the hail and or whatever this one, bullet storm, whatever it's called. We got from the Troy DLC, and then we use Armor Breaker, and both of them should be giving us health though. I'm kind of surprised we're going down as much as we are. So we should have plenty of health regen on 2 guns. Burning these shields off and then killing the hell out of their flesh, burning their flesh down to a cinder. And continuing to Gunzerg. Oh shit, there we go. Some cutscenes. Let's say, come on, use your trespasser thing. Oh yes. Whoa, Adrian, we did it! No scope required. Oh, he's hurting. He might be infected. Oh, he's struggling. Yeah, this has got to be foreshadowing. Oh, hold on, I've got to get these $2.
Hang in there, Mordecai. The Vault Hunter's coming.
Dude, we lost our Gunzerg. That sucks. Oh, he's down. These are infected bandits. Oh my god, these guys are hitting so hard.
To his feet. I'm on my way.
What was that? Talon? What the hell are you doing? I'm trying to get your master back.
Oh, man. You alright? Lilith, those pendejos cropped us in me.
Damn it! Mordecai's infected. This is my fault. We need that antidote now. I'll take him back to camp. Get through that mine and find the scientist.
She's lit, fam, bro. She's pissed.
Excellent. I eagerly await your arrival.
Good luck at that old doll mine. I heard that place was haunted. Cursed haunted.
A dull mind. Is this gonna end up being in the place underneath Sanctuary? I forget what it's called. It's my favorite area in Borderlands 2. It's a really cool area. Really well designed. We talked about that plenty during this playthrough. Caustic Caverns, I think it's called. Yeah, that's it. Turn back now! No! Maybe he wants to get a car.
Please insert any donated organs into the
Shitness.
receptacle below.
That might be useful. We'll see. Why not? I'll try it out. Just for fun.
Next time,
Just for fun. What is it? Nasty Lance. 12,000 damage. Sure.
bleeding to death. Just think, Dr. Dead.
Success!
What, did you think I'd leave my flank exposed to counterattack? That's basic military strategy. I already reinforced that door with 3 feet of solid titanium.
I ain't worried about the XP.
Point
Tritanium.
Hector.
It's their new favorite word.
Asshole, but again, he's right. Gate's too thick for me to phase through. Come on back to camp and we'll figure it out.
I mean, Morty's gonna die. We need a plan. We need a plan. Pretty good story so far, though. I like this twist. We've been turned back. We've been turned back. That's classic storytelling. We get invaded. Start to push back. We find out this Cassius is the one who made the virus. He's in the Dull Head Mine, so we should be able to fix it. We can't get into the Dull Head Mine because the armor's too thick. Gotta figure out a way to get into the door. Alright, I'm with it so far. Good story so far. First appearance is in her Eponymous Underdome. Maybe I'm saying that right. Let's see. I don't think I've ever seen that word, but I'm sure it means that it's named after her. Yeah, giving their name to something.
Eponymous.
Eponymous. Ah, eponymous. Cool. Winging it. That's appropriately named.
Yo, killer, over
Both
here.
we are winging it to try to counterattack, and Talon. Talon is huge, dude. He's so much bigger this time around. Mordecai's infected, and Cassius may be your only hope for a cure. God help you.
We need to punch through that gate somehow. Cassius is our only chance of saving Mordecai.
You got
and
diarrhea?
taking Sanctuary.
He's babbling about something. You better listen.
Titanium's
Where's
chunky
Brick?
stuff, Lil. Gonna take one hell of a weapon, and what we got here ain't gonna cut it.
I got that. You need that.
Yo, Lilith, what about the Helios moonshine?
Ooh, interesting.
That could work. Bandit, you lived on Helios for a while. Think we can get the moonshot cannon
I
working?
think his name's Vaughn.
Oh yeah, totally. But just so you